part of the Press Play Podcast Network.
Hello. We are back. Another episode of The Ball Card Show, the Sports Cat.
Wow, I'm usually the one that screws that up, not you.
Is it the Sports Cast?
Let's start over.
Yeah. Hello.
Welcome to the Ball Card Show.
The Sports Podcast.
For the Sports Collector.
I'm Jason Otero.
I'm Gary Lamaster.
As always, we are brought to you by the Press Play Podcast Network. See, that was perfect.
Is that what you want to call that?
We don't even need to go back and edit that.
Okay. That was a really interesting
You get it
kickoff to
honest
the show.
from us. You know, I would like to say it's because I'm not awake, but I've had a lot of caffeine.
And you just ate a
I did
73-pound
not
biscuit
ask
from the
you
Maple Street
to
Biscuit
share
Company.
your opinion on my breakfast / it was a brunch, really.
All I got to say is this. I get here to record today, and one of the first things Jason says to me is, "You got to see the sandwich I ordered. It should be here soon." And he opens this thing up, and there are 2 nominal pieces of biscuit somewhere in this massive pile of chicken, cheese, bacon, and gravy.
And eggs.
And
Over easy.
eggs.
It's brunch. It's the most
And
important
it
meal
took
of the
him
day.
all of 4 minutes.
Well, we got to record the show, you know? If I didn't, I was just so self-conscious that you were going to say something, and that's probably why I botched the intro.
Is that what it was?
It has to be.
Okay.
All right. Well, we're here.
It's a big week this
It
week.
is a
Super
big
Bowl.
week. Super Bowl. Hobby-wise, we got Top Series 1 coming out on the 15th.
Yep.
Loaded class.
Loaded rookie class, and the design is the best design Topps has had in probably 6 or 7 years.
Yeah. Should be really good. Super Bowl-wise, I still think the Chiefs are going to pull it off.
Well, we're at odds. I think the Eagles win this game. I think that Eagles front 4 is so good that they are going to be able to drop 7 into coverage and still get a lot of pressure on Mahomes. And the Chiefs running game doesn't scare anybody. It's adequate, but it doesn't scare anybody.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I think I'm banking a little bit more on Andy Reid, maybe.
I mean, football is a sport where the coaching matters, but at the end of the day, the players have to perform.
That was a deep. And
had
had you not said that, I was picturing Andy Reid
just out there.
Have you seen his kick, punt, and pass contest?
Oh yeah, he was a monster of a child. He was a monster of a child. He's 12 years old and he looks like Shrek.
He looks like Andy
amongst
Reid
all
now.
these little kids. Yes.
Oh,
No, I just think that the Eagles' defense is going to be the difference in the game. I do not think that the Chiefs' defense can stop the Eagles' running game. I think that the Eagles are going to probably be in 6 or 7 different 4th and short situations, 2 yards or less, and they're going to pick up the vast majority of those because they will go for it.
Yeah.
And I think that will further grind down that Chiefs defense. Now, I said this last week, and I'll say it again. If it turns into a shootout, if Andy Reid has the balls to say, guys, we don't want to let him score in 13 plays, 15 plays, so you might as well just let him score in 6 and give our offense the ball back and just see who has the ball last. If he has the balls to do that, then yeah, I think the Chiefs can pull it off. But if they try to play with the Eagles in an Eagles-style game, I just don't see how they have the ball enough to do it.
I like that we're going into a Super Bowl where a lot of conversations around it are I'm not sure who's going to pull it off.
For sure.
So that's a good one. We're back for another week right now of prospecting.
Oh, we're just diving straight in.
Did you have something else?
I thought we were going to talk about Top Series 1 and what all's there.
We did.
No, we didn't. You said
a loaded rookie class and a good design. What would you like to say about it?
Well, let's talk about that rookie class a little bit and why it's worthwhile to maybe go grab a few boxes of this and just stash them.
I'm guessing it's because the class is good.
It is. The class is fantastic.
Fantastic and good.
You've got Adley Rutschman, headline the class. You've got Vaughn Grissom. You've got Miguel Vargas. You've got Hunter Brown. You've got Cade Cavalli. You've got Ezekiel Tovar. You've got Vinny Pasquantino, the Italian stallion out there in Kansas City. It is a class of rookies that we haven't seen in a Series 1 checklist in a really long time. Probably going to be well worth ripping some of this stuff and realistically stashing some hobby boxes, because the price point on hobby boxes is not going to be insane. I told Jason before we kicked off that I'm seriously considering just buying a case and stick it in the closet. It's that good of a class. Rutschman as a rookie was a 5.8 WAR player. That's nutso.
Yeah. It's been a while since Series 1 was this hot.
Right. Usually
That's
it's
probably
2 or update.
Because they're trying to make you wait for another release.
Right.
The only problem is a lot of other products are going to come out between here and there. So.
Well, and the design on the product this year, have you looked at it? It's a fantastic design. It's a little bit reminiscent of 83 tops.
And it still has the white border around the edges.
Yeah, you got a white border. You got a little headshot down in the corner.
I like that.
Baseball bat looking background. It's very legible, unlike the last couple years of tops where you had to like squint or hold the card close to your face just to see the name.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a very popular set. And when you add a great looking product to that type of a rookie class, and some really great looking inserts too, like some of the products that they're doing this year, they stole a little bit from Panini. They're doing a playing card variation, like aces, with the pictures that are a short print that look cool. Some really nice autograph. The throwback cards are to 88 tops, which is kind of weird, which is I used to think these were horrible cards, and the older I get, the more nostalgic I get for that just really simple design. And so it'll be interesting to see how those hold up across the board. But it should be a fun product.
Old Rip. This is one of those times where like a low end paper product, because of the rookie class, it's going to be a little more similar to like ripping retail Bowman, where if you are ripping it right when it opens, you'll get some money back right away if you're willing to sell stuff. So if you're chasing autos or some SPs, know that there's going to be enough base rookie in there to be able to sell a lot of these guys for $1 a piece real quick.
Yep.
And lot them up.
You got it.
Do you feel we've adequately addressed the excitement surrounding the release of Top Series 1?
I do. I just feel like you're trying to power through the cast this week. I feel like you're just not present.
I'm right here.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got all that Maple Street Biscuit Company just sitting on your stomach ready for a
biscuits
nap.
do like snatch you up and hug you, you know? Go to sleep, bro. It's fine. Just take a little nap. But
oh, shoot. Okay.
All right. We're going to jump into the AL Central Series Championship Division.
I apologize to everyone. Jason said we needed to cut down the number of prospects from each team. So we did, but here's what I will tell you. If there is a prospect for your team that you are interested in learning more about or want our opinions on, hit us on socials, and I promise you I will answer you with the best of my knowledge when it comes to that prospect.
And I will allow Gary to do that.
Thank you so much.
I might have something to add from time to time.
Occasionally.
You never know.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to do AL Central today. Again, if you missed last week, it'd be a great place to start. National League Central is what we were talking about, and we're just pointing out a few different prospects from each team to be on the lookout for. We'll try to give you a little info if we know what product they're in for their Bowman First, what we like about them, concerns, so on and so forth. Up first, we're starting out with the White Sox, and this first one is somebody that I have a little fun fact for you. Colson Montgomery.
Yeah. What's your fun fact?
We'll start with the fun fact.
Yeah.
Colson Montgomery went to Southridge High School in southern Indiana, Huntington, Indiana. Every year I would play Southridge in a tournament. There is a famous field in Huntington, Indiana that had some minor league ball, but it's more famously known for where they shot a league of their own.
Oh.
And it still has the old wooden home run fence with the war bond art and
really
all that
cool
stuff, wood bleachers. I don't know. I mean, it's been a few years since I was out there.
Sure.
But every year they would host a tournament where they did that. Huntington Dragons were a Pioneer League team.
Okay.
That was there when I was in
Independent
school.
ball.
But Southridge always had good pitching, and that was like the smaller division. I played in like the smallest state division you can be in, and then that was the first time in high school you see somebody hitting like low mid 80s, or that ball was a slider. It wasn't a fastball or a curveball. What just happened? But that
disappeared.
Southridge tournament was the first time I ever was beamed by a ball over 90 miles an hour.
Nice.
And it hit me directly on the top of my foot. And that hurt.
Hurt like a mother, didn't it? Yeah. Now, here's my real question. That's a really cool factoid. What does that have to do with Colson Montgomery, other than the fact that he went to high school there?
That is the tie.
Oh, okay. Got it.
It's
Okay.
not a fun fact that I played against the high school he's from?
It is. I thought.
And it's not a
it
fun
was-
fact that a league of their own field
Those are all
was there?
fun facts. I just thought
How
they
many?
were
What do you?
more-
How fun do you want the fact
I thought
to be?
they were going to be more related
How
to
fun?
Colson
What,
Montgomery.
what would have made that better?
I thought there was an actual Colson Montgomery anecdote. that
Colson
you were getting ready
Montgomery
to
and I
share.
are homies. We text all the time.
Well,
He's
you went.
like,
You went from
bro,
Colson Montgomery
remember
went to
when
this
you
high
played?
school.
He's like, Jason, you remember when you played my high school?
I was 4
when
years
I was
old.
4 years old. Yeah, exactly. Probably not even that. I'm now you're starting to tick me off, bro. This is what you wanted.
At least you're woke up now. Let's go.
Anyway, Colson Montgomery,
Shortstop.
6'4". Scouts are saying he reminds him of Corey Seager.
Yeah, with maybe a little less pop and a little more bat to ball. Kid is 20. Probably will spend a month in Double-A this year before getting bumped to Triple-A. He went through 3 levels last year, got a very brief taste of Double-A, and struggled some, which is normal, especially a tall kid with long levers. We talk about it a lot when we're talking about prospects. That high RPM heat they don't see till they get to Double-A. So there's an adjustment period. So he struggled a little bit there, but overall, sweet swing, will likely stick at short. He moves really well. Kind of sneaky fast. Able to steal 15, 20 bags a year. There's legit 20-20, maybe fringe 30-30 possibilities with this kid. And I think that while there's a chance he gets a cup of coffee late this year, I think in all likelihood 2024
He was.
is his
He's in the
debut.
2022 product.
He's in 2022 Bowman baseball. His autos are not cheap, but you can get some of his colors for reasonable dollars.
All right. Moving right along. Are we allowed to move along? Did you
Yes,
have a more
let's go.
fun fact?
I did not.
Brian Ramos.
This is one of my favorite prospects in all of minor league baseball.
If you thought my Colson Montgomery fact was fun,
You got one for Brian Ramos?
this one's even more fun.
Okay. What is it?
My ancestors grew up.
Oh, the 7 degrees of Jason Otero. That's
About-
the new game.
About a hour-long boat ride. I don't know how long it is.
This is getting
From where
real,
Brian
real weird.
Ramos grew up.
Okay.
He's from Cuba.
Yeah.
Was that more fun or less fun?
That was way less fun.
It looks like it was more fun. You're laughing.
Well, I'm laughing at you, not with you.
Oh, okay.
Okay. There we go. One of my favorite prospects in all minor league baseball.
Not to be confused
He's,
by his cousin, Helio Ramos.
So Brian Ramos, another youngster, third baseman. He's still got some room to thicken out. He may end up at a corner outfield spot, but he's got a cannon for an arm. He's got great bat-to-ball skills, and his swing is really geared for loft. He hits the ball out.
Not
Not
only
a-
that, but he works the different zones. So he's not afraid to use that same swing to run that ball opposite field,
Right.
which is typically a little bit unique for someone who puts that kind of loft on the ball.
Correct. And he's not a big strikeout guy either. So, and he's got a good eye. He probably strikes out 1.5 times for every walk he takes. So, which is a pretty solid rate. And he got a little taste of Double-A last year. I think he'll start the year in Double-A this year and probably end in Triple-A. But even in that little taste of Double-A where he struggled a little bit, he still hit 3 jacks in 21 games. So you're looking at legit 25 to 30 home run power, and a guy who's probably going to likely bat 270 plus and be a at least average, if not slightly above average, third baseman in the field. The one thing he doesn't provide a lot of is speed. He is not going to steal a lot of bases for you. But I don't think most teams are planning on their third baseman doing a lot of damage on the base pass. And his stuff is in 2021 Bowman Chrome. Again, very affordable still, although it has risen quite a bit in the last 6 months. But still not you can get raw color autos for somewhere between, depending on the number, somewhere between $60 and $300.
Okay. Up next, the funnest of facts. Just kidding, I don't have any more.
Thank God.
Lennon Sosa, infielder with the White Sox.
Yep.
I don't see as much excitement for him as others, so talk me through what you're seeing.
So there's a little bit of prospect fatigue with Lennon Sosa. He was a pretty highly rated prospect for a hot minute, and the White Sox brought him up for a cup of coffee early in the year last year, and he really struggled at the major league level. Whether that was a case of nerves or just not being allowed to play through some of the issues, he struggled. I think he breaks camp with the Sox this year and ends up being pretty good. And again, because of the fact that he struggled a little bit, you can get his stuff relatively cheap. And some of the guys that I picked for this were those kind of targets, guys that you could get in on that are going to likely have pretty solid careers. And this is a guy who should start the year with the big league club. And I mean, he's a 50 hit tool, 50 power guy current. I think he realistically stays a 50 hit tool, but I think he grows into 55, maybe 60 in-game power. And that's a guy who's going to hit you 25 to 30 jacks and not strike out a lot and be a pretty good player.
Yeah, his bat speed does indicate that he's capable of pushing 20 home runs.
Yeah.
So, all right. Anything else on the White Sox?
No, I mean, there's a few guys, but you made me
very
cap it
well
at 3,
then.
so.
Let's move on.
Let's move on. We got the Guardians next.
You do not know what to make of me today.
I don't. You are all over the place.
I've got you even uncomfortable, which is hard to do.
It is hard to do. I just don't know what's coming next.
What's coming next is Mr. Valera.
Yeah. George Valera. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying you guys are going to probably, if you're listening to this and you're a prospecting person, you're going to be very surprised that we're not talking about Daniel Espino and Gavin Williams.
You trying to squeeze some
I'm
more
not.
names? That's what you're doing right now.
We're just not going to talk about pitchers today,
all right.
But those two guys are legit. So anyhow, I didn't squeeze them in. I'm not going to deep dives.
Valera.
George Valera, okay, 22 years old, has been aggressively assigned all the way down. He's got a weird swing, but he high zone contact rates, 88, 89% zone contact rates, big power, doesn't strike out a lot, and
probably not a huge high average guy.
He's a 55 hit tool guy, 270, 280. I mean, if you look at his numbers in the minors, last year he struggled when he got the call up to AAA. But again, he's always a little bit of an adjustment guy, and he only got 42 games in Columbus. So I think he'll start the year in AAA, and I think he ends up with the big league club June or July. It may be sooner if they've got an issue, but he hits jacks across, 130 games last year. He hit 24 jacks across 2 levels and had 90 RBIs. The kid can play. He's going to be up sooner than later. 2022 Bowman. His stuff was really expensive at the beginning of the year last year. It's down probably 50%. Great time to scoop George Valera stuff.
Mm-hmm. Up next, a recruit that struggled keeping playing time just because of COVID and shortened seasons and everything. Chase DeLauter, outfielder, was putting up ridiculous numbers, and he also suffered a foot fracture.
Yes.
So a little bit shortened seasons, broken foot, but still, 6'4", 235.
He's a grown man.
Yeah.
So Chase DeLauter's an interesting dude. If you're looking to buy Chase DeLauter, my advice would be to wait until 2023 Bowman baseball comes out and his stuff drops. Because right now, his stuff is some of the most expensive in the product of 2022 Bowman draft. Division III James Madison University product. The kid has a crazy amount of raw power. Like an absolute crazy amount of raw power. He's a 60 in-game power grade right now, and I think he has a potential to have raw power in that 70 to 75 range. Mm-hmm. Big. He's going to have some swing and miss, but he's fast too.
Well, the other thing that's unique is his plate discipline. So a stat through college was 62 walks versus 45 strikeouts in 66 games.
Yes.
So somebody
against
with
Division
power
III competition
and size,
yes,
that is showing signs of plate discipline as a power hitter. Not super common.
No, agreed. I also think it's what I'm interested to see. He's not yet played a single inning of professional baseball. So I'm really interested to see what he looks like against professional pitching, not Division III, Division II, NCAA pitching. Mm-hmm. There's a huge difference there. You're aware.
Well, I disagree, but it's basically the same. I basically was going against Nolan Ryan every episode.
Yeah.
Up next, John Kinsey Noel. But they've got him labeled as a lot of different possibilities for where he's going to field the ball.
He's got a massive range of outcomes. He's a super high variance dude. Here's the one thing that's not going to be high variance about this cat. He's going to hit the ball out the park. He might do it with a 210 batting average, but he's going to hit 30 to 40 jacks.
Got to Adam Dunn.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
He is going to hit the ball out of the park. And with the move across baseball and even amongst some of the more diehard longtime baseball fans to understanding advanced metrics and that batting average is not the end-all be-all, a 220, 230 batting average if you're hitting 40 jacks with some swag is going to get you hobby attention.
Case in point, a New York Met we know.
Oh, yeah.
That's the Pete Alonso effect.
Yeah, very much so.
So hobby-wise, definitely something to watch. And there's nothing, like, here's the other thing with hobbies. Like, when it comes to collecting, we're prospecting looking for talent.
Yep.
But people love people that hit home runs.
Well, he 3-leveled it last year.
Yeah.
He went from high A to triple A. He only got 4 games at triple A, struggled mightily when he got there.
That's a ridiculous jump.
Yes, it is. And for a 21-year-old, going from high A to triple A in one season is crazyville. But before those 4 games in triple A, just his other 129 games, the kid hit 32 jacks. He had 84 RBIs. He does strike out a good bit. He had 140 strikeouts in 460 plate appearances. So he's a 28, 29% strikeout guy.
He's got a little bit of the Keno problem with movement at the high levels.
He ain't going to steal any bases. He is a big, thick human. Mm-hmm. But, man, when he gets a hold of a baseball, it flies. Yeah. And he's a kid that you can still buy reasonable. He's not cheap, but he's reasonable.
Off-speed stuff he struggles with a little bit.
Yep. Which young power hitters tend to.
But just what he saw in a difference between high A to triple A is absurd. So,
yeah. Making that jump in 1 year is crazy. And if you want to dive into a organization that knows how to develop their prospects, we could spend if we wanted to do a 3-hour episode just on the Indians farm system.
Oh my God, please no.
We could. There's there is so much talent.
Next
in that
time I'm out of
system.
town, go for it.
All right, what do we got next?
Maybe my worst day when that's our highest rated episode.
The Tigers?
No!
Is
yeah,
that what
up
we
next
got?
is the Tigers. Colt Keith is up first.
Yeah, Colt Keith. So here's an interesting fact about Colt Keith. He's in 2020 Bowman, and Topps couldn't fathom that Keith was his last name. So his carts say that he is Keith Colt, not Colt Keith. So his
Can't
first
trust the man.
Yeah, his first Bowman cards say that his name is Keith Colt. He is not Keith Colt. Colt Keith, crazy amount of tools. I think he'll probably start the year in Double-A. He needs to be age appropriate so we can get a real good look. But he's a 5th round pick, and all he's done is hit the ball.
And get on base.
Yeah, he just hits the ball and gets on base. 2022, spent the whole season in high A as a 20-year-old, turned 21 about halfway through the year, and had a 914 OPS. He slugged 544 with a 370 OBP. Does not strike out a lot, walks a reasonable amount, not going to steal a lot of bases, but a solid fielder. I think he ends up at second base, so he's going to have a little bit of a capped hobby value because of that. But he's a guy that you can get cheap.
And not only that, it's deceiving because he is 6'3". He's a little bit bigger frame, but he swings for line drives.
Yes.
And
Flat plane.
Yeah. So you're not running into what we were with some of these other guys where they have high loft, high bat speed. If they get a hold, it's out. He's placing the ball.
Yeah.
So that has an impact on hobby too.
Yep.
Most people are going to be a little more excited about the 215 batting average and 40 dingers over
the over the
9 home runs and 310 and
with 35 doubles.
yes,
And yeah.
So just something to be mindful of. But man, the Tigers, just look at what they've been able to bring in, and they snagged him up at just a $500,000 bonus.
He was a 5th round pick.
Yep.
5th round pick in 2020.
Yep. Great pick. Who we got
What do we got next?
I'm working on it. I fell behind.
Is it Pacheco or Dingler?
No, it's Dylan Dingler.
So
You heard that name right.
this is a little bit of a homer thing for me. So Dylan Dingler was a Buckeye. He played baseball at Ohio State. Started his career at Ohio State as a center fielder, transitioned to a catcher, which is a weird transition to make. But if you imagine the amount of athleticism that it takes to play a really high level of center field, and then you put that person behind the plate, he's got a cannon for an arm. When he came out and first got his first taste of professional baseball, he raked. And it looked like he was going to climb. He was going to have a Spencer Torkelson, Riley Green type climb to the majors. And then last year, Dingler came in and he struggled some, and then he got hurt, broke a finger. And when he came back from that broken finger, he just wasn't quite the same. That Double-A assignment was just... But 2021, he went 3 teams. He went low A to Double-A and played well, and then spent a year. He still hit some jacks, 15, 14 home runs. Struck out a lot.
Yeah.
Struck out a lot last year. He's got to get that under control, but he's shown that he has the ability to have that under control.
So it sounds like it's a little streaky too. So some of that's just between the ears. When we say a lot of strikeouts, last July, 28 strikeouts and 82 at bats.
Yeah, he ended the year at like a 33, 34% strikeout rate, which is not sustainable. Even unless you're hitting, an insane amount of jacks, and when you do hit the ball, it's in play. Like Ellie De La Cruz had a 29, 30% K rate, but that dude's an alien. I was listening to somebody talk about him the other day. I know it's not anything to do with this, but his ceiling, like a kid like Ellie De La Cruz, his ceiling is 50-50. His ceiling is 50 home runs, 50 stolen bases. Things we've never seen before.
Right.
It's a freak show. So anyhow, that's Dylan Dingler. Stuff is cheap. It was expensive for a while. Now it's not. 2021 Bowman Chrome. Yes.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Up next, Isaac Pacheco.
Yes. Isaac Pacheco.
Oh, you're right.
I know.
Isaac Pacheco. I said that wrong too.
You did.
On
Isaac
purpose.
Pacheco.
That was fun, wasn't it?
It was.
Fun fact about Isaac in the Bible times.
All righty then. Crazy amount of power in this kid's bat. I think he's in a long-term be a third baseman. They've played him at both places, but he has not filled out yet. And once he fills out the rest of the way, he's just not going to move well enough to play shortstop. He's 6'4". He's 225 already. He's probably going to be 240.
Third base.
He's going to be a third baseman. Really good in the field. Really good arm. Doesn't run well. Bat to ball skills are not fantastic. They're average to slightly below, but his power is going to make up for it.
Dead pull hitter, long swing.
Yes. And it's something that they've actually been working with him on, but he's not there yet. He'll try to take a fastball that's 2 inches outside and try to pull it.
Yeah.
Just a long looping over the top swing sometimes.
Not going to work.
No. But he's working on it. And again, so a lot of these guys we're deep diving are guys we're trying to, hey, there's a lot of potential here. You can buy their stuff cheap, see what happens.
Yeah, we could have just gone on eBay and chased down the top sales, but
yeah, well, the Tigers, it's a little tough because most of their top prospects are pitchers.
Okay, you ready to move on to the Royals?
I am ready to move on to the Royals. Are you ready to move on to the Royals?
I am so ready. Gavin Cross, outfielder.
2022 Bowman draft. His stuff is not cheap. He's one of the chases in the product. If you're going to buy his stuff, wait till Bowman Baseball, 2023 Bowman Baseball drops. If there's a guy you want that's a top guy from any release of Bowman, wait till the next release comes out and then buy the stuff. Mm-hmm. Unless you get lucky and hit it in a break or pull it. Kid was a no-name out of high school, went to college, and raked. And ended up being the 9th overall pick in 2022. Big guy. Going to play a really good outfield. I think he's capable of playing center, but I think as he continues to fill out, he'll end up at a corner. Really good arm. Had a fantastic year across 2 levels. He was too good for rookie ball. Mm-hmm. They played him at rookie ball. This is his slash line. They only played him 3 games because they were like, this is stupid. 3 games in rookie ball, hit 500 with a 583 on base percentage and slugged 1,000. He had his OPS was 1583. He had 3 RBIs in 3 games, 2 doubles, a home run. It was too easy. So
it
then
looks
they were
like the big thing that they're wanting him to work on is just the discipline as well and the contact. More balls in play, less strikeouts.
Then they said, okay, let's go ahead and take you up to low A. And in low A, across 26 games, he went ahead and still had an OPS over 1,000. Hit 293, 423 on base, slugged almost 600. Hit 7 dingers in 26 games with 22 RBIs, 22 walks. Not a lot more to say about this kid other than buy him when 2023 Bowman drops. I think he is likely to be a 2024 call-up. I think he ends up in AAA by the end of this year. He's going to climb 3 levels.
Yeah, a lot of hype around him. Drew Waters, outfielder, was with the Braves, right? And they traded him.
And we're in Pronunciationville today. Drew Waiters.
I
realize phonetically
I will
it's
protest
Waters,
this
but it's
one
Waiters.
phonetically.
I know.
I
agree.
was me.
Yep. This phonetically looks like Waters. I agree, but it's pronounced Waiters.
My fun facts are way more fun than yours. You're having fun correcting
mine aren't
me?
fun facts. Mine are just here's reality.
Exactly. Your facts aren't fun.
So Drew Waiters
Your facts aren't okay.
Was a very highly rated prospect when he was in the Braves system. Matter of fact, I think he was a top 25 prospect for 2 years in a row. And then he really struggled in 2021 after the pandemic. Really struggled at Gwinnett. Was not hitting the ball with much authority. Was striking out an insane amount. So the Braves moved him. And once the Braves moved him, he got to Kansas City and started to turn this stuff around enough that he got a little bit of taste of the big leagues last year. And in 32 games in the big leagues, he hit 240, but he slugged almost 500. He had an OPS over 800. If you have an OPS over 800, that's an above average big leaguer. I think the batting average is going to come around. He hit 5 jacks in those 32 games, so that's 25 to 30 home run power over the course of a season. And strikeouts were, again, a little bit of an issue. But I think he's going to get that under control. Keep in mind with Drew Waiters, he's a little bit older, and he is in 2017 Bowman draft. So he's been around for a while. There's some prospect fatigue there.
Here's a little stat that I like.
What's that?
Last year, career high, 28 bags stolen.
Yeah, he can move.
That's good.
Yeah,
get him on base. He's got to get on base.
Yep.
He figures that out.
Again, a kid whose stuff is cheap, and he still has rookie eligibility this year.
Yep. Oh, I'm sure I'm going to say the next one wrong.
Let's see.
Luca Tresh.
You got it.
Yes!
You got it correct.
He's in 2A ball right now.
Yep.
6 footer. He's the shortest guy we've talked about yet.
He's a catcher's catcher. He's a catcher's catcher. Fantastic arm. Good behind the plate. Handles the pitching staff well. Has really good raw power. Bat to ball skills. Little bit rough, but he still hit 270 with 19 dingers, and he's never going to steal any bases. But if you hit 270 and you can hit 25 jacks and play decent behind the plate, you're not really worried about your 7 and 8 hitters, how much they strike out.
Here's something that I'm more excited about with him.
What's that?
And this is the first one of these reports that I'm looking at right now. They're talking about his leadership ability, the ability to run a pitching staff, his quiet competitiveness. So that's a factor that'll get you really far in a role like catcher.
Oh, yeah.
Because a lot of times they're dealing with these guys that they have all the talent in the world, but between the ears, they do not have leadership sense at all.
Right.
And so you get somebody like that, a program's going to want to give him more time.
Yeah.
And they'll be a little more patient with him.
Yeah.
Because that's a huge value. Even just the value to the bullpen to have somebody like that.
Oh, for sure.
You know. We're expecting more than that, but that's not a bad place to start. All right, we're going to move on to the Twins. I'll let you get started with Emmanuel Rodriguez.
Erod.
No, it says Emmanuel Rodriguez.
It does.
So now we can say his name differently.
Well, that's his nickname, Erod. We've got J-Rod already, and when I say that the next Rodriguez that has a initial for a nickname like this is going to be pretty good too, I'm telling you the truth. This kid...
That was great.
You like that?
Yeah.
This kid is something special. Absolutely rakes. Absolutely just rakes. And it's not pure home run stuff. He's going to hit dingers, but he's also going to hit doubles and triples. He's going to steal bags. He's going to walk a lot. He's not going to strike out very much. He walks more than he strikes out. He's fast. I think that by the end of the year, he's probably close to AAA, probably cup of coffee AAA. He's starting the year at high A in all likelihood as a 19-year-old, so a couple years below the league average age. And my expectation is that he will absolutely just continue to rake.
So here's I'm just kind of looking at critiques over him. The only thing they're saying is that because he is such a power hitter, he has a tendency to get his swing a little steep as he begins to face more movement with higher speed pitches. That bat's got to get in the zone a little more. You have to flatten it out a little bit. So don't be alarmed if you're investing in this guy. If you start to see a few being a little slower on the extra bases at first, and you're like, why is he getting so many more singles?
Yeah.
You start seeing him hit singles or putting stuff opposite field. Some of those, like the contact rate goes up a little bit. That's a really good sign for him because he has the power.
Yeah.
But that is an adjustment to a swing that'll take a little bit of time to work out.
Yeah, and his firsts are in 2021 Bowman Chrome. He was an international signee. Not cheap. His colors are selling pink to purple or anywhere from $40 to $75 a piece without an auto.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hype on this kid, but I still think that that's not a bad buy-in point. If you look at what similar players have done, he very much comps against Julio Rodriguez. He really does.
All right. Royce Lewis, shortstop.
Again, prospect fatigue. His actual professional rookie cards were in Topps Update and Topps Chrome Update this year. Number 1 overall pick in 2017. Royce Lewis has had one problem and one problem only, and that is being healthy. Whenever he's on a baseball field and healthy, he's just a stud. That's all he is he's just a stud. He just can't stay healthy. I mean, last year he started the year with the Twins, played 12 games before he was hurt, and in those 12 games at the professional level he'd never been at before, he hit 300. He had a couple dingers, 5 RBIs, didn't strike out a lot. There's not much more you can ask. Slugged 550, 867 OPS. Then when he got healthy and came back at the end of the year in AAA, he again raked 34 games. He hit 313, hit 5 home runs, steals bases. Now that Carlos Correa is gone, there's nobody blocking him. So I think he breaks the year.
That speed's a huge deal.
If he stays healthy, you can buy his Bowman stuff pretty cheap still. Mm-hmm. You really can. So worth buying. I think there's a chance he could put up a Rookie of the Year level campaign if he can stay healthy. Mm-hmm. Also, he looks a little bit like Dobby the Elf.
Okay.
Just saying.
Wrapping up the AL Central next, Jose Salas.
Jose Salas.
You know what's weird? Through this whole list, is this the first switch hitter we've talked about today?
Salas? I think so.
Yeah. National League Central was loaded.
Well, it's because the Reds have them all.
This guy's got power.
Yes, and so he was one of the key components in the deal that sent Luis Arias to Miami. As a hobby guy, it was one of those go from one team that doesn't get a lot of hobby respect to another team that doesn't get a lot of hobby respect. Mm-hmm. But Salas was a really highly sought after international signee at what he signed for, $3 million or so? 2.8. I thought it was pretty close to that. In-game power is not equal to his raw power by any stretch yet, but bat to ball is great. He's fast.
He is fast.
Really good in the field, and I think that his stock is going to continue to climb. He is in 2021 Bowman baseball, the initial Bowman release of that year, and the kid has just played really well every stop. And I think that this year will be interesting because I think he'll start the year in high A, and then we'll see what happens at double A. But another guy to really watch for. And he's one of those dudes that can play 3 positions in the infield. Yeah. I think that likelihood is he ends up at second, but it wouldn't shock me to see him at third. I don't know that he sticks at short because he's going to continue to fill out and just not move as well.
He'll slow down a little bit. Big thing with him, he's aggressive when he's hitting. He has a pretty good eye where the strike zone is. He has good awareness there, but he also can get a little steep with a swing. It's just really common with power hitters. And as the speeds pick up and the movement does not slow down, it's going to be important for him to take some of those ground balls and turn them into some line drives or the occasional fly ball with some of those. Usually what that means is, so let's say that the swing plane is where it should be. The problem is he's probably trying to pull stuff that he just needs to send across the field over the 2 bag. So that'll be something to watch with him, but definitely
and whether he can tweak that swing to generate a little bit more backspin. Like, I think that's another thing that a lot of people forget. You look at exit velocities, and you're like, man, if he could just hit the ball in the air with those exit velocities. Well, that's true to an extent, but if the ball doesn't have some backspin on it, it ain't going to carry.
Right.
You're going to end up hitting, line drives that go 15 feet in the air instead of 9 feet in the air.
Yeah. You in a better mood?
I've been in a great mood this whole day.
You sure?
I feel like that you are just dreading the next 4 weeks of this.
What?
I feel like you hate prospecting.
I enjoy this. I love it. What am I? What do you mean? What?
I just feel I feel like you just really, this is not your favorite part of the year for us. And I love this part of the year so much.
I don't like it until I go to a show and there's a box full of Bowman and I have an idea what I'm looking for.
Right.
And then it's nice.
This is us providing a service to our listeners.
Yes. You're welcome, listeners.
For us sharing our immense knowledge with you.
Man, you've been ramping up card shows like crazy.
Yeah, I'm trying to do
you're
3 to 5
up in Mansfield.
Yep.
tomorrow in Xenia. It doesn't look like I'm going to be able to make it out for that one, unless
We're
a
keeping
miracle
our
would
fingers
happen.
crossed,
Yeah,
but
possibility. And then we're looking at a couple other spots too. We'll be back at South High, and then you're talking about one in Lancaster, maybe.
yeah.
So all over Ohio, seeing more and more of it. So you had talked a little bit about how you're building out your box value, 1, 2, and then prices marked. One thing I'm noticing, and I'm probably coming in a little bit late to this, but card shows, the tables by and large are selling out in all of these like small to mid-sized towns.
Yeah, and there's good attendance too.
Yeah.
The Mansfield show last week, there was probably a 3-hour window where there were 350, 400 attendees in the building at the same time. And for a 50-table show, that's a lot.
Yeah.
I know that your dad came up and was blown away, not only how many people were there, but how many people were at individual tables for long periods of time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really cool. It's exciting for me. We're going to be doing more and more of it. You broke out a 50-cent box, which is something I didn't think you would do. But
I didn't think I would either, but it was really, I guess you were just looking through. I brought my fresh box up because the other one sold out. I put another one together for this week. And you made the comment, and it's true, my 50-cent box looks like most people's dollar box. And my dollar box looks like most people's $2 box. And my $2 box looks like most people's prices marked box. That's the key if you want to sell out, if you want to move a bunch of stuff. But all depends on what you've got and what you're willing to sell it for.
True that.
Do you want to sell cards? Do you want to show and tell cards?
Did you see more of the same where a lot of the low-end stuff was moving better than the slabs?
I moved some slabs. Traded for some stuff that I really wanted.
Tell them about the orange that you picked up.
I don't.
Saw it, it was on Facebook, right?
Yeah, I made a trade. I'm not going to go into the details of the trade.
It's a pretty card.
It's a beautiful card. Let me put it this way: if a customer who was not another dealer had walked up to my table and offered me that trade, I would have told them no, and then I would have added to it. But this was another dealer, and if you're a dealer and you don't know what you're doing, that's a you problem. That's my opinion.
Sharks smelling blood in the water.
I just accepted an offer that was made to me. I did not make the offer. I was offered this. But I picked up a PSA 10 2021 Topps Platinum Anniversary, which is a set that people tend to either love or hate. But it's an Adrian Beltre auto, numbered 25 of 25. There's no raw comps or graded comps of that particular card, but the raw comps on the of 50s, there have been 4 or 5 sales all around 100 to 120 bucks, which means that the orange raw should be 180 to 200. I'm putting this in my case at 450, and we'll see what happens. I think I'm probably underpricing it a little bit for a first ballot Hall of Famer on a short print PSA 10 auto, but I got that card in 20 bucks. For a CSG 10 base Sapphire Jackson Cheerio. And I was offered that. It wasn't me making an offer. That's what this other dealer offered me.
Okay.
So I just said yes. And went on with my day. I don't know what else to say.
Good job.
I just said yes. I
Oh,
also
boy.
picked up a really cool card for my PC. It's a 2013 National Treasures auto booklet to 25 of Andy Dalton, which is a sick patch. I'm a
you
Bengals
overpaid
fan.
for that one.
I did overpay
So
for that.
they basically equal.
The kid that brought it up to my table thought he had a banger. Really nice kid. He bought a few things from my table. 6th grade. I've said this before, but one of my favorite things about shows is seeing these 10, 11, 12, 13, 14-year-old kids that are out there hustling, and they're making money. And some of these kids pull out a wad of cash. That they just flip cards and do their thing. And he thought he had a banger with this, and I wanted the card, and I had no idea what it was worth. I mean, it's Andy Dalton, like a third-year Andy Dalton card, so it's not like it's a big money card. But the kid thought it was a $200-300 card. And the last 2 sales, cash sales, were $25 to $28.
Yeah.
And he wanted to sell it, and I was like, buddy, I'll pay you full comps for it. He's like, oh, I can't sell it for that. I said, I don't blame you. It's a really cool card. I said, but if you want it to move it, I'll give you $40 in trade value for it. Because I just wanted the card for my personal collection. So I overpaid a little bit for it, which is fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I try to balance the karma.
Oh, man, you're so good at that. So good at that.
But if anybody's an Adrian Beltre collector and wants a beautiful card, come see me at ZB tomorrow because I've got one.
All right.
Beautiful card.
I have been mostly building out inventory off of Facebook.
Yeah.
In the different sales. I'm getting more and more comfortable putting in an offer where I have plenty of room to make money and somebody saying they want this and me saying, okay, I'll pass, thanks.
Yeah.
And probably 25% of the time whenever I'm getting my totals at the end of a sale, they're like, okay, I'll go ahead and do that if you want to.
Yeah.
Because they see I'm not there just to buy one card most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So great value there. I was talking with you about this. It was a great reminder. I jumped into a few breaks over the week. Man, it can get rough. You can get into some huge breaks and still just
skunk out.
You just forget how bad it can be.
Yep.
I did a Bowman case break with the Reds. Got a bunch of firsts, bunch of refractors. Nothing crazy. I will say this. I was telling you about it. That Topps Gilded product, the chrome packs that come out of that, I really am interested in building out a set of that. It's not going to be cheap. I want to wait a little while, but those cards are so pretty.
The set is a really pretty set, but like I told you, I feel like Topps screwed the pooch with the set. I feel like one of two things needed to happen because they were trying to have a higher end product that was not like transcendent.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't want a $20,000 product. So it's sold on their website for $320, but the resale on it's like $550 right now. The product needed to be, in my opinion, a $1,200 product with 3 times as many cards in the box.
Yeah.
That's my opinion on the product. It's a cool product, but I would rather pay double and had more in there. The way that it's set up right now, it's a lottery. It's like Contenders Optic. It's a lottery ticket product.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't like it's one of the reasons I like baseball products. They don't tend to be lottery ticket products.
Yeah.
That's a lottery ticket product.
Yeah. I would agree with you on that. They're still gorgeous. I'll probably be buying
Agreed.
singles on that, or lots, even the base stuff, man. I'll just start building it out and see where I get. Probably a lot of that on eBay in the next couple of weeks as people are realizing that those aren't worth as much as they thought and they want a little bit of cash back. All right, that's all I got, man. Are you done being grumpy?
I haven't been grumpy in the least. I'm rocking on Monster. My blood type is Monster Mango right now.
That was cute.
Feeling great.
Good. This has been the Ball Car Show, the sports podcast.
Hey, for the Sports Collector.
Bye.
Peace.